What's up, good people? Happy Sunday, and welcome back to another episode of Soul Food Sundays. If you are new to the channel, welcome. I know I have a few new subscribers. Thank you for joining us. And for those of you who are not new, those of you who are returning, what up, though? Y'all make sure y'all are liking and telling your friends and your family and all your people, your tribe, about the channel and the good messages that are coming through. I hope you guys have had a good week. I'm sure that all the planetary shifts, the retrogrades, the season changes, all the eclipses, they probably got everybody like, now this is a story all about how my life got flipped, turned upside down, and I like to take a minute, just sit right there. I know it has been for me, not necessarily a bad week or even bad energy, but you can just feel the changes in your emotions and your feelings and your thoughts in your day-to-day activity. You're probably noticing some signs of synchronicities more than you normally would. Might even have with the retrograde some people from your past popping up, some old feelings popping up. It's just part of the process. So yesterday I had to go for a 30-minute walk at the park after I had already worked out at the gym, just to intentionally get grounded and to get centered and connect with Mother Earth, and just to clear my head. Like I said, nothing's wrong, but I'm sensitive to energy, and I can just tell when my energy is off and I'm not centered. So I thank God for knowing the tools to get back centered, and one of them for me is to go for a walk or sit outside and just be kind of at one with nature. But speaking of the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, and no, I'm not about to talk about Will, Jada, and in August and that whole debacle. But I am just thinking how the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air really is kind of like the whole plot of the show is symbolic of our spiritual journey, because we find ourselves in the throes of toxic environments, and then like kind of like Will did, our parental figure, or even in this case, in terms of spirituality, God will send us on a journey of discovery for the sake of our safety and development and fulfilling our soul contract. Because in essence, Will going to Bel Air was a part of his sacred contract. So when we head out on that journey of discovery, that's where we experience like cultural shocks and go through the dark night of the soul. We learn about ourselves, and we compare and contrast environments. We learn things about the opposite sex. We face our inner child issues that come to surface, kind of like that, not kind of like, very much like that of the iconic father-son episode of The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. We learn about unconditional love, like that of the relationship between Will and Carlton. There were just so many like life lessons in that show, and I'm now kind of thinking of it in context of like how it relates to the spiritual journey. So now I'm gonna have to go back and binge watch The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, apparently. But I don't know, that may be a message for some of you. Maybe that show could be a blueprint for some of you to kind of synthesize and compare and contrast and make some notes as to where you are in life. I think that would be a dope tool to use on your journey. And I think I'll be doing so myself, since I was able to make that connection. It had to have come to mind for a reason. But we are going to move forward using the hero's journey to bring forth a message, to provide some soul food for us as we set out into a new week. We don't know what this week will encompass, what kind of energy we will encounter, what kind of experiences we will encounter, but we will be better prepared because Spirit is going to give us a message to help us do so. As you can see, I got me a cup of green tea going because I'm about to head to the gym, and I found that green tea helps with my metabolism, so I tend to either have a cup before I go or after, because I got to get some of these corona calories off, honey. You know, they say love the one you with, and I assume that means the body that you have too, and I do. But my boo need a little tone up. So I'm about to head to the gym in a little bit and get that going. And the message on my tea bag today was, what belongs to you shall come to you. You better say that, Yogi T, because that's exactly what it is for me. I trust and believe that what belongs to me will come to me, and anything other than, I'm not really bothered about. I know that God loves me just that much, that he's going to provide my every need, and I honestly can say I've been blessed to have my every want too. So I pray that you all can walk tall, stand tall with that same faith, that what belongs to you will come to you. Somebody probably needed to hear that today. So let's go into prayer, and then we're going to get into the message. Father God, Mother Earth, ancestors and spirit guides, we thank you for this opportunity to connect with you, and ask that you bring forth the best messages for the highest good of the collective. Bring forth the best message for everyone under the sound of my voice. May something be said that resonates and helps them throughout this week, or whenever they are hearing the message. What message do you have for us, Spirit? Amen. So let's see. I know I sound ungrateful, and I did ask for the messages, but sometimes, for the sake of time, I don't be wanting 50 little messages to come through. But it ain't about me. I'm just a conduit of God's light, and there's no need for me to be in a rush, because I am on God's time. So we're going to get to it. The first message being number 26, me time. Enjoy your own company. Wow. We've been called to be in straight hermit mode for a little while, which the environment is conducive to that of being in hermit mode anyway, with so many things shut down. Many of us are still in quarantine. It's not really safe or wise for us to be out congregating, and so nature and God is working things out to where it just makes more sense to even be alone. But part of the reason why we need to be alone is so that we can enjoy our own company, and some of us really need to learn to enjoy our own company. Number 6, there's no place like home. Nestle into the sweetness. So not only may that be saying, stay at home. Again, this deck is about going out on a journey. Ironically, 2 of the 4 cards that came out are about solitude, or being at home, or being to yourself. But also, home could be just what feels good to you. If you have someone in your life whom you're extremely comfortable with, or a place that you're extremely comfortable at, or a thought or a feeling that you're extremely comfortable with, that could very well be home for you. And that's something that you need to be grateful for, that you need to show appreciation for, a place or a person that you need to spend more time with, enjoying. But you want to put your focus on what feels good for you, and not just what feels good to you or for you on a physical level, or especially on a sexual level. You want to focus on what feels good to you on a soul deep level. Number 38, you won the lottery. Make room for wonderment. So as we are taking our time and enjoying our company, enjoying some solitude, being in hermit mode, thinking about what feels like home to us, enjoying what feels like home to us, or staying at home, we are being asked to make room for the blessings that are coming into us. Somebody is about to experience a windfall of abundance and grace, and it's gonna feel like winning the lottery. And a lot of times when people win the lottery is when they're at their breaking point. They're at a point where they feel like, oh my God, how am I about to pay this rent? How am I about to pay these loans? How am I about to pay this car note? And then they take a chance, they take a gamble, they take a risk, and they win the lottery. That being the case, you may very well find yourself this week or at some point in the near future where you think it's not going to work out, and then God showers down a blessing upon you. Number 11, which is also the twin flame number, and that number and 11 cards keep coming out for me every time I do a reading for myself. The number 11 card. If there's a number 11 in that deck, and there's always a number 11 in that deck, that card's gonna come out. So here again, breadcrumbs of bliss. Heed your pleasure principle. We're going to get into these messages and read from the book. I also want to just make mention of, I'm not going to read the descriptions for these, but the top and bottom card. Plant seeds of intention. Go, grow, glow. Number 21. Plant seeds of intention. Each and every day, you should set an intention for what it is that you want to come into fruition in your life. We're on a journey to go from intention to embodiment. When you set that intention and you plant that seed, you are connecting with God. You are co-creating with God with what it is that you want to come into fruition. You are speaking things into existence. You are writing them down. You are saying them out loud. You are changing up your habits and your daily routine so that you embody what that is. And you're setting that intention, and throughout your days, you are watering that intention until it becomes an embodiment. It's not what you want at that point, but it's what you have. So keep that in mind as you move throughout your week. And let's see what card is on the bottom before we get into these messages. Build in breaks. Number 15. Saunter slowly, which means you don't have to do it all at one time. You don't have to build it all at one time. Like, take your time with whatever it is that you're setting out to do, whatever intention you're trying to bring into fruition. Take your time. None of these cards say anything about rushing toward anything. It doesn't say necessarily be still either. Make moves, but make them in moderation. So keep that in mind throughout the week as well, to build in breaks and saunter slowly. I would highly advise you guys to buy this deck. It's the Hero's Journey Dream Oracle by Kelly Sullivan Walden, but it's based on Joseph Campbell's The Hero's Journey. We've pulled from this deck before, but as we go through, and especially during readings like this, where I'm not about to read those 6 cards, but I will read the 4 that came out, you would have it yourself to reference. And I just advise everybody have their own deck anyway, because the same way I'm able to connect with spirit through these cards, you all are too. This is not a limited gift. My intuition may be a little sharper, or it may not. Your intuition may be sharper than mine, but we're not in a game of comparison, because we all know that comparison is the thief of joy. So let's see here. Number 26, me time comes at stage 6 of the hero's journey, which is the belly of the whale, and it's asking you to enjoy your own company. If you are a Bible scholar, you're familiar with the belly of the whale experience in the Bible. So you will be able to make that connection between that story in the Bible and this, the message in this card. So it says, would that there were an award for people who come to understand the concept of enough, good enough, successful enough, thin enough, rich enough, socially responsible enough. When you have self-respect, you have enough. Just as the sun is always shining, regardless of the clouds that temporarily obscure its light, you are never alone. Even in your most solitary moments, you're at one with the whole of life. Know this, and next time you find yourself in a quiet, alone space, be aware of its blessing of grace. It is time to listen for the voice of inner wisdom. Breathe a sigh of relief next time you have a little me time. What might at first seem sad or lonely can be a great blessing. Fill your quiet spaces with luxurious, candlelit bubble baths, literally or symbolically, and soak in your meditative thoughts, desires, creativity, preferences, music, and your favorite candle aroma. Take a chance to explore who you are without interruption. And when that moment finds you, remember, it's a chance you've been waiting for. If you've been having dreams of being alone, they can be twofold. This dream may seem scary until you realize that wherever you go, there you are, and you are magnificent. This dream could be prompting you to contemplate whether you enjoy the company you keep in the quiet moments. This dream also invites you to dive into the depths of your inner ocean and discover the treasure chest that's been patiently awaiting. The mantra is, I drop deep into the luxury of this me moment and let my soul become enriched. One thing that comes to mind as I have read from this card, and I see right now this is probably about to be a longer reading than usual, but we're going to get through it because it's a blessing to receive these messages. A lot of us are distracting ourselves with people, places, and things, and we're not enjoying our me time. And this card is calling us to do so, to get to know ourselves. What do I like? What don't I like? Do I like? Do I enjoy my own company? If not, why? If so, why? I for one can say I spend a lot of time alone, and I have learned a lot about myself in that time, and I have come to learn that I enjoy my alone time a lot more than I have ever given myself credit for. I have a better idea of what it is that I like to do in my alone time. And one thing about being alone and just navigating this journey is that that is the best time to not only get to know yourself, but get to know your purpose when you are alone. That does not mean that you should always be alone. There has to be moderation in everything that we do. And even when we are encountering being around other people or being in relationship, it's important to just have some moderation in terms of your alone time and the time that you invest in your relationships with other people. And when you do decide to be around other people, make sure it's people who feed into your energy and don't take away or diminish or deplete your energy, or people who don't help to contribute to you being a better person. Make sure they're worthy of your time. Not to say that you're any better than them or they're any better than you, but at the same time, you want to protect your energy. So keep that in mind as you are exploring, enjoying your own company this week. The next card is number 6. There's no place like home, nestle into sweetness. And number 6 comes at the first stage of the hero's journey, which is ordinary world. And tying back into my whole connection with the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, before he set out on his hero's journey, so to speak, everything that was going on in Philly was an ordinary world for him. It was the norm. It was what he grew up in. It was all that he knew until his mom decided to send him to get exposure elsewhere. So this card says, a man travels the world over in search of what he needs and returns home to find it. Snuggle into the peace, calm, and simplicity of the present moment. So many miraculous moments happen throughout each day that are worthy of drop to your knees awe. Sunsets, sunrises, the sound of your loved one's breath as they sleep, a hot shower in the morning, a cool glass of water, the ability to hug the ones you love. The list of the miracles go on and on. On your hero's journey, you will travel far from home, if only in your mind, but you will never forget your roots and your gratitude for all which nurtures, feeds, and grounds you. Never forget where you came from. And that's a message that I've been receiving also. Just stay rooted. This even speaks to your root chakra. Make sure that your root chakra is healed. The root chakra being the energy center in your body that is focused on your security, your stability, family matters, and things of that nature. You want to make sure that you are deeply rooted in something that is going to sustain you. And if you are not, you can always uproot like a plant. If a plant has root rot or something going on with that plant, and I'm in no shape, form, or fashion a gardener or a horticulturist, I have one plant and I do a horrible job of watering her. Y'all pray for Eartha. But there are things that you can do to revive that root. There are things that you can do to save that root or replant that plant without it being a lost cause. So you kind of want to apply those concepts to your life and where you are right now, and consider where you're rooted, because that is your home, that is your core base, that is your foundation. And if you're not rooted in healthiness or wholeness, then you want to work on it, because ultimately, if the root isn't healthy, the fruit of the plant will not be either. It's gonna be void. Home, dreaming of home, is symbolic of the place we strive to return to. It is often the place where the elixir has been hiding in plain sight the entire time. Dreams of the home you live in now or of your childhood home can represent your sense of grounding, identity, and belonging. The physical structure and upkeep of the house can reflect your physical well-being. The shape, size, and decor of a house, as well as the activity within it, all reflect how you see yourself or how you would most like to see yourself. So the mantra for this message is, I allow my senses to indulge in the nectar of gratitude for my home, sweet home. Keep in mind, as you're listening to this message, maybe you want to rewind, or as you are meditating on it, home is not just a structure. It's not just your physical home. Home for you is what lies deep down inside of you, your roots, where you come from, and the place you want to return, that you would always want to return to. That's what you would consider home. Then we have number 38. You've won the lottery. That is a beautiful message for somebody out there that's feeling like all hope is lost. You got something coming in for you. So gratitude unlocks the fullness of life. It turns what we have into enough and more. It turns denial into acceptance, chaos to order, confusion to clarity. It can turn a meal into a feast, a house into a home, a stranger into a friend. I can tell you now, before even going further, that what this is saying to us is that for a lot of us, feeling like we won the lottery is simply a mindset shift. You are so blessed, but because you are not being grateful for what you have, you feel like you don't have enough. So a lot of us are plagued with having a lack mentality, opposed to looking at and being grateful for what we do have. You may be living in a mansion, but if your mind says it's a shack, it's a shack. And until you change your mind about the mansion that you're living in, or until you change your mind about the quality of your life as it is, you'll forever think that that you're lacking something. So we want to keep that in mind. We also want to, like I said, make sure that we're not in this state of ungratefulness because we're comparing our lives to others. Comparison is the thief of joy. So many of us could be so much happier if we were not comparing our lives, the lives that God led us to, the lives that for many of us our free will and decisions led us to. If we would stop comparing that life to the life of that God led somebody else to, or their free will or decisions led them to, their circumstances led them to, just live your own life. Live your own life and live your best life. So dreams of winning the lottery are a sign that you've struck it rich. See this dream as positive reinforcement or reward that you are on the right track. Your lottery dream is an energetic reminder that your life is a mountain of priceless gifts that will take a lifetime to unwrap. Get ready, as abundance consciousness will attract even more blessings into your life. So instead of having lack consciousness, let's work on cultivating, if need be, an abundance consciousness, a consciousness that says I have all that I need, or that what belongs to me shall come to me. Not a consciousness of I don't have, I'm not gonna never have, I won't, and I'm lacking, and woe is me. So keep your mindset set on being blessed. If you think about it, you have an unending list of things for which to be grateful. In fact, if you could really see, you'd fall to your knees in absolute wonderment at the blessings in your life. The secret to having more isn't in strategizing on how to get the green grass on the other side of the fence. Radical gratitude is about beholding the miracle of the grass growing on your side of the fence. To rise to a higher level, you may even add your challenges and struggles to your gratitude list. With radical gratitude, you realize you are more abundant than you ever could have imagined. You've already won the lottery. You may have thought radical gratitude would be a threat to your ambition, a bucket of ice on your fire to achieve more. This is not so. Gratitude is magnetic. It will bring you the best things in life and give you even more to be grateful for in a never-ending upward spiral of awe. A lot of times, especially on my Instagram, I talk about radical self-care, which is a concept that I learned from kind of studying the author Audre Lorde. But I want us all to keep in mind, and I'm putting a note in my hat, a pen in my hat, that however that phrase go, honey, because now I'm overthinking it. I'm like, is it a feather in my hat and a pen in my book? Something like that. To also intentionally practice radical gratitude, because that is a part of radical self-care. If you're not being grateful for what you have, that's not contributing to your self-care and your abundance consciousness, and that is something that we all need to aim to have more of. So last but not least, and that card, you won the lottery, was part of stage 9, which is the reward phase of the hero's journey. So number 11, our twin flame card. It's part of stage 2 of the hero's journey, the call to adventure. Many of us are being called to heed to our pleasure principle. Follow your bliss and doors will open for you that you never knew existed. Follow your bliss and the universe will open doors for you where there were only walls. And that quote is specifically from Joseph Campbell himself. It says, "It is no accident that you are on this planet at this time, in this place, with these people. It's no accident you've been endowed with unique gifts. Your gifts and talents are within you for a purpose. It's not your job to know how your life is meant to unfold. It is only your job to be attuned to the bliss that moves you, guides you, and underlies your every interaction, moment by moment. When you honor your dreams, your inner guidance, and the promptings of your soul, you are rewarded every step of the way with a resurgence of soul juice, aka bliss. This is not a temporary high that leaves you crashed and burned out. The breadcrumbs of bliss will lead you to the best place to be in divine right order. If you're having blissful dreams, regardless of whether they are about winning the lottery, an extraordinary sexual connection, or sacred communion with God, blissful dreams reinforce that you are on track with your divine calling and purpose for being alive. You are inherently wired for pleasure. When you are where you are supposed to be, doing what you are supposed to be doing, the bliss button will be turned on. The mantra for this message is, I follow breadcrumbs of bliss that lead me step by step toward a most fulfilling life. That's a dope message. I hope that you guys are enjoying your own company this week, that you are exploring what is home for you. Maybe that means changing up the dynamics of your home life, but definitely considering what would you consider home? What would be the place or the thing or the person that you would want to come back to when you leave? Your safe haven, your sanctuary from this world. I hope that you all are able to see that you have already won the lottery, that you are already blessed beyond measure, and change your mindset from a lack mentality to that of abundance, and that you are able to recognize and follow the breadcrumbs of bliss. God is showing us some things, and you just have to be in alignment and attuned to the signs that are before you. I know I see numbers, I see messages, I've been seeing a lot of messages about using my imagination and focusing. And literally, I walked by the library yesterday, and there's like 3 posters on the wall about imagination and focus. I'm reading a book that I thought had nothing to do with imagination and focus, and there it is. Just so many different messages that are coming in for me in my dreams. And so I pray that you guys are attuned to those things as well that are coming in for you, because there are no coincidences in this life. So with all of that being said, I just want to wish you guys a blessed week, and I'll catch you on the flip side. Peace.